Hello everyone. Today we are going to be reading through the documents for your Quarter 3 DCA. We're going to read the first document and you should then pause to answer the questions, and then we will go down to read the second document for the last question. Okay? First step, remember, is to always look at the document background to learn about our source and maybe what this document is about. Okay, so document background. Al-Umari was an Arab historian from Damascus, Syria. He visited the city of Cairo in Egypt several years after Mansa Musa passed through there on his pilgrimage in 1324 CE. He then wrote this account of Mansa Musa's visit as told to him by the people of Cairo. So one thing we need to note is that he was in Egypt several years after Mansa Musa passed there. So he was not there at the time. You can go ahead and start writing this down. He was not there at the time, but learned of Mansa Musa from others. Okay. We also know that this is during Mansa Musa's pilgrimage. A pilgrimage was a religious journey. Okay. So far we know that this was written by Al-Umari. He's going to be talking about Mansa Musa when he visited Cairo in Egypt. He is learning about this from others. He was not there at the time. Okay, so here is what he has to say. There are a lot of big vocabulary words in here. If it is bold, you can look down here to see what the word means. He says, "From the beginning of my coming to stay in Egypt, I heard talk of the arrival of this sultan, or king, Musa, on his pilgrimage, and found the people of Cairo eager to tell what they had seen of the Africans' extravagant spending." Extravagant means a lot, so he was very wealthy in spending a lot. "I asked the emir, or high-ranking person, Abu, and he told me of the opulence, or wealth, many virtues, and piety, which means religious devotion, of his sultan. Abu said, when I went out to meet him, Musa did me extreme honor and treated me with the greatest courtesy. He addressed me, however, only through an interpreter, despite his perfect ability to speak in the Arabic tongue. Then he sent the royal treasury many loads of unworked native gold and other valuables. I tried to persuade him to go up to the citadel to meet the Sultan of Cairo, but he refused persistently, saying, I came for the pilgrimage and nothing else. I do not wish to mix anything else with my pilgrimage." So what we can learn so far is that while Mansa Musa was in Egypt, he demonstrated his wealth, but he was focused mainly on his pilgrimage or religious journey. Okay. Sorry, I'll make the font size so you can see it. Okay, second paragraph. Mansa Musa flooded Cairo with his gifts. He left no emir or holder of royal office without the gift of a load of gold. The people of Cairo made incalculable, huge profits out of him and his caravan in buying and selling and giving and taking. They traded away gold until they depressed or lowered its value in Egypt and caused its price to fall. This has been the state of affairs for about 12 years until this day, by reason of the large amount of gold which they brought into Egypt and spent there. So we can summarize this by saying Mansa Musa and his people spent so much gold in Cairo that its value went down. Okay, they brought so much gold that gold became less valuable. Okay, go ahead and pause the video at this point and answer the questions for document 1. After answering the questions for document 1, we are going to read document 2 and answer the final question. Okay, so this is about Mansa Musa's return from his pilgrimage. It says, Mansa Musa became the first Muslim ruler in West Africa to make the nearly 4,000-mile journey to Mecca. Upon his return from Mecca, Mansa Musa brought Arab scholars, government bureaucrats, and architects. So he brought back with him many skilled people. Among those who returned with him, the architect, Ishaq el-Tajun introduced advanced building techniques to Mali. He designed numerous buildings for the emperor, including a new palace, the mosque at Gao, and the still-standing Great Mosque at Timbuktu, the largest city in the empire. El-Tajun's most famous design was the emperor's chamber at the Malian capital of Niani. So we can summarize saying Musa returned with many skilled people like an architect who built great things. Okay. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage boosted Islamic education in Mali by adding mosques, libraries, and universities. The awareness of Musa by other Islamic leaders brought increased commerce or business and scholars, poets, and artisans, making Timbuktu one of the leading cities in the Islamic world during the time when the most advanced nations from Spain to Central India were Muslim. Timbuktu was clearly the center of Islamic sub-Saharan Africa. So we can say, when Musa returned, he boosted Islamic education, arts, and poetry. And finally, Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca brought Mali to the attention of Europe. For the next 2 centuries, Italian, German, and Spanish cartographers are map makers, produced maps of the world which showed Mali and which often referenced Mansa Musa. The first of these maps appeared in Italy in 1339 with Mansa Musa's name and likeness. So after Musa's pilgrimage, Mali became more well known to Europeans. Okay, at this point, you can stop the video and answer your final question.